Hello, I'm Steve. Welcome to the Patio Heat channel, where we provide visual concepts of infrared heating as well as tips for outdoor comfort. Send your request into designs@patioheat.com for your personalized recommendations. Our one-on-one customer support helps you make the best decisions for your applications. We strive to earn your business. Visit our patioheat.com website for sales and more information. Now let's get heating. All right, so here we have this residential application, and you can see that it's actually it's under construction right now. You can't see that, but in any case, let's go over the overall dimensions first of all. And I guess the main purpose I brought up about under construction is it's always best to pre-plan what your application is going to be like during or before the actual building process, so that you can position the heaters in the best location possible. So let's go ahead and look at the overall dimensions that I have here. So overall dimensions, I have approximately 32 foot here by about 16 foot this distance. We have a ceiling height over here of a finished ceiling at about 9 foot off the finished floor. And then we have this apex that goes up here to about 13 foot. You know, I have it at 13.1. There's a couple of different seating spaces here. We have reclining space here next to a fireplace, and then also dining space over here. There's a doorway that swings in into the structure, I believe, as opposed to outside. If it does swing outside, that's something that we may need to look at. But I have it as a 6 foot wide door, so, or opening, I should say. You can see the post here, 7'9" center to center, and 7'9" over here, center to center, 16 foot total here. This opening I have at 7'2", and that's true on this side over here as well. The main beams that are going across here I have at 1 foot by 6 inches, and you can see the openings here is at 16 inches opening. However, the depth isn't tall enough to allow for a flush mount in this area over here. Also, just a note, this is a sloped section of the ceiling, but that sloped section of the ceiling is created by adding an additional 2x4 that's cut so that it slopes up here. So, but this is a 6-inch tall beam here, so that's the limitation there. So I think that's about it as far as dimensions are concerned. Let's go ahead and turn those off. Now, one thing I want to mention is that this particular design here, they are looking to place fans in here, so I'm going to haphazardly place some fans here. Now you can see they're very small fans, and also I have one in the center here. It's centered within the fireplace itself, so if you were to, you know, look at it from this point of view, I guess you would see that it's centered down here and then centered within the opening over here on this beam from here to here. Same on this side over here. All right, and I do have them drop down to a very specific height, and I'll show you that in just a little bit. Fans, I'm not an expert on fans, but I know that there is some reduction of air movement if that fan blade is too high to the ceiling. So that's something to think about as far as my recommendation is going to be concerned. So, all right, let's go ahead and see what we can do. So, first of all, I'm just going to show you some options that you know, kind of come up first to say, okay, this might work, this might not work. Let's see how it does work. But in any case, you can see here I have 2 of the 4,000 watt units. These are CD 4024s, 4,000 watt 240 volt heaters with double elements inside each unit. I have 2 on this side over here, 2 on this side over here, and you can see that the clearance is the main issue that I have. So I had to make sure I made the 18 inches of clearance from the edge of the heater to the beam over here. The only other way you can change that is by dropping the heater down a few inches in order to meet the clearance down below. So if just an example, if we were to move, I think the OEM brackets that come with it gives it a 6-inch clearance, and then there's an additional 4-inch clearance bracket that you can get that is extended 4 inches more. There's also a 2-inch bracket, but a 2 will not be enough. So that's what the 4-inch bracket would look like, something of that nature. And it would also help in reducing the clearances based on the fan blades. Now, if these fan blades themselves are non-combustible, meaning that they're not wood, they're not composite, something that maybe some kind of steel, aluminum, something of that nature, then being in that clearance zone is not the issue. The only thing that would be an issue is to make sure that your actual ray isn't penetrating onto that metal surface. So, but this is just an example of a drop of 4 inches, and I'm going to leave that there for the moment and go ahead and look at the footprint of heat and why this is probably not the most ideal application for this job here. So, but in any case, you can see here too that the fan blade is, penetrating this area here. So dropping the heater down would be a little bit helpful. And let's go ahead and look at the footprint of heat. So footprint of heat, you can see that we're only heating up a small portion of this zone over here. It's pretty much uniform from left to right this direction here. But if you have an additional seating position out here, you can see that's not really beneficial for the entire space. So also looking over here at the dining table here, they did state that the dining table will be most likely centered within the distance of the window over here. So I kind of tried to do that with the table itself, but you can see here we have a good footprint on the one side here, and actually on the outside ends of the table, but not so well on the center part of the patio. So but that's something to consider, and we'll go ahead and go on from there and look at a different option. Oh, I should also just mention we can take the top off here for a second and take a kind of a look at what that footprint would look like from this viewpoint. So you can see that it's a good footprint this way, just not good over here. All right, so let's put that top back on and look at the other option. Option 2 would be maybe placing them in this configuration here, so that they're perpendicular to the posts or the beams coming across here. These are 4,000 watt units again, and I'm going to go back into that clearance area here. This is why I'm using a 4,000 watt unit. If I use a 6,000 watt unit, or I should say this is why I'm using a dual element 4,000 watt unit. If I use the dual element 6,000, it would be too long and would be penetrating this clearance area here and over here at the same time. So let's see if I have the heater dimensions on here. You can see this is actually a 6,000 watt unit, so it's 5 foot 1 1/4. So that would be 5 foot 1 1/4. Add 3 feet to that for your clearance, because that's 18 inches on each side. That's why you don't meet the total clearance needed with a longer unit. So but anyways, these units here, they looked just fine, and I'm going to go ahead and turn off this ray for a second. Look at the fan. So again, this short small fan would fit in something like this, just to give you an idea of what that fan size might be. Let's see if I can kind of grab this real quick here. This is just going to be a small estimated, so it's about a 3 foot diameter fan that I've placed there. Let's just double check that real quick. And yeah, 2 foot 10 is what I have there. So let's go ahead and erase that for right now. But in any case, that would fit. If the 3 foot diameter, it looks like it would be fine as well in the center on an application like this. Let's go turn that off for a second and turn off the heater dimensions. And I think that's good. So let's go ahead and look at the footprint of heat for an application like this. And I'm also going to take a look at, and by the way, I didn't mention this, this is a 6,000 watt unit. The clearance above the heater itself I should say the clearance on the outside edge is 18 inches. So the total distance that I have from the beam edge here, if I was to measure that off here, let's see if I can find that proper. I got it slightly off here. And let's go from maybe the center here. There we go. We'll take the center of that portion here and look at the, really don't want to do that. Let's see if I can move this properly. I'm sorry, give me just 1 minute here. And I'm going to move it down maybe 1 inch here. So it's slightly off the ceiling, you can see, but let's go ahead and take that measurement now. Okay. And this is going to be from the edge of the beam here. So it's approximately 1 foot, we'll call it 1 foot 7 inches, center of the bracket itself to this edge over here. So, but in any case, and the heater, I should say, all these heaters are pointed straight down with regards to the bracket. So this is the bracket itself, and it's pointed straight down. The reason I'm pointing it straight down is if I change this angle here, then by code you need to drop the heater down an additional 6 inches with a 6-inch extended bracket. So I'm trying to eliminate that requirement. And let me take this off here for a second and look at the footprint of heat. So again, footprint of heat is not ideal. I wish I could change this angle, but I'd have to drop the heater down. So I'm going to go ahead and show you a different option as well. Let's go ahead and look at the top here and look at the footprint of heat. You can see there's some big gaps right around here as well as right around here. And you're not really heating, you know, I guess you're heating the couch okay right here, but a lot of the heat is thrown out here in the middle. So but this would be something that would work. Here we're not getting a good heat pattern, nor are we over here on this side here. So looking up here, you can see I have that seating position all the way, you know, out to here roughly. And I'm going to go over, hopefully, if I don't forget, go over one more issue that I want to talk about as far as the seating position, or the space to be occupied is the better term for that. But let's go ahead and turn the top back on and then get one final look at what another option might look like. And that would be utilizing slimline 4,000 watt units. Now, what you're going to see here, first of all, well, let's go over here first of all. What I have is I did drop the heaters down that additional 4 inches and change the angle slightly to about a 5-degree angle pointed towards the inside or the outside edge, or towards the fireplace over here, and that would be towards the kitchen area over here. But you can see the drop down and angle would allow that clearance to be met as far as the clearance to this beam here. Another thing you're going to find is if you read the manual, it talks about the manufacturer states that you should have these at 36 inches from center to center. I would like to have done that. However, the clearance on this edge to combustibles is the issue that I see, as well as this side over here next to the house wall here. So I moved the heaters 18 inches from the wall to the outside edge of the heater itself, and that's true on both locations that I placed the heaters. So the clearance between the two heaters is less than that. I say it's about 2 feet, maybe even less than 2 feet, but I talked to the manufacturer about that, and they said that it's not a code issue, it's just a recommendation issue, so that can be done. And these are 4,000 watt single element slimline units. So to look at that would be something that you'd want to do prior to making the installation as far as those clearances are concerned, and the manufacturer's recommendation. So I'm going to go ahead and turn off the clearances below. And if you wanted to see the oh, I should also mention I do have this at about a 10-degree tilt down towards the ground. And with the slim lines, when you tilt them from the ceiling mount, they don't say that you must change the height of the bracket itself, so that is why I'm choosing slimline 4,000 watt units here as well. Looking from the top here, you can see that the footprint of heat overall is really good on both ends. There is some space over here that is not being utilized all the time. However, you know, when you are using the patio, there might be a day that it's just you watching. Maybe you have a TV set over here, or just enjoying a cup of coffee, something of that nature. You could just turn on one unit. You don't have to have all 4 on, nor do you have to have all 8 on. So they all can be individually switched if you like, or you can have zones where this would be zone 1, zone 2, zone 3, zone 4, something of that nature. So just keep that in mind, that you know, you don't have to have all the units on, wasting energy when you're not utilizing the entire space. So also wanted to mention over here, dining table. Now I would prefer to have these heaters moved slightly so that your heat itself is more uniform and placed over the seating position, more so than, you know, over the table where you're just heating up the table itself. So I mean, that would be my preferred location, something more of this nature. Or, you know, even if we and I don't have these straight down, I'd point them straight down if that was the case. But, you know, even if we had these centered within the span here and no fans at all, maybe the fan location, like I stated before, on the walls or beams, something of that nature, this would be a much better application. Something like this, pointed straight down to the ground, but utilizing the same model units as well, 4,000 watt slim lines. So I wanted to kind of show that. I'll go ahead and move these here as well, just so you can see that a little bit better. And the position again is not perfect because of the fact that I do have these at a 5-degree angle here. So let's see if I can grab that. Here we go. And here we can see how that now is a very uniform footprint of heat throughout the whole entire span. Meeting your clearances 18 inches from the edge, 18 inches from the edge, and this would be a whole perfectly heated patio in this type of design. So I wanted to go over that one other issue that I had talked about, and that is the actual footprint of heat. So if I pulled this out here, this is the space that I'm utilizing for the most part as far as how much heat that we need. I'm going to move this out here just for a second and come over here, and you can see that the space itself is 106 square feet. 106 square feet would take 3.5 slimline 4,000 watt units to heat it properly. So that's only 3.5 units. Obviously I have 4 units here, but that's where I get that 4 unit placement issue, or requirement, I should say, that you know, even though some of this heat is being thrown out here, the majority of the heat is being utilized for the space itself. So there is a demand of how much heat would work best outdoors and in different locations as far as BTUs per square foot, and how you get crossover rays such as this and such as this right here. Those crossover rays increases the intensity between the heaters themselves, so that the you know, comfort level is brought up where the ray itself, and this is infrared light waves, this is not heating up air, this is heating up mass, the human body, tables, chairs, floors, things of that nature. But if you're not physically in the ray and you're not at the optimum output of the heater from that ray or in that ray, then you're not going to feel warmer. But again, the air temperature does not change. It might change slightly if these heaters were all running for, you know, a couple of hours, let's say, but you know, hot air rises and it dissipates into the atmosphere, so it's not really something that's going to heat air. You want to be in the actual footprint of heat, the ray itself. So, but in any case, this would be my favorite application right here. Let me go ahead and turn on the top here so we can take kind of a look at this. And another thing just to look at is, what would the application look like, from the standpoint of indoors here, looking out. You're not really seeing the heaters very much. It's not going to be something that stands out, but it would be something that would heat up the patio very, very warm and comfortable. All right, well, I hope this has helped. If you're looking for some assistance with your outdoor heating application and you would like us to review your plans, please send your information into designs@patioheat.com, and please tap that like button. We don't advertise, we're not monetized. YouTube does not promote our channel unless we receive thumbs up from our viewers. And if this has helped you out, the way that most viewers find our channel is by others hitting a thumbs up, and we really appreciate that. We work hard to get your business and appreciate those thumbs up. So all right, thank you very much. You guys have an excellent day.